Hey, how's it going, everyone? It's Jeremy, in a different perspective than usual in my videos because I'm going to use this whiteboard to illustrate some things. I have had over a decade of dating and relationships since moving out on my own after a divorce in 2014 at age 36. And here I am at age 47, having had over a decade of dating over several hundred unique women and having a couple really good long-term relationships and everything else in between and under the sun that you can think of. And I think this video is pretty important because the world today needs men and women to connect now more than ever. I don't know if I can make a dent in that at all, but I feel like creating understanding from my perspective may add some knowledge to the pool of dating and hopefully help some people, especially you men out there. So I will start off by saying dating is drastically different for men and women in the world today. It's drastically different. I liken it to the sperm and the egg that are both involved in creating life. Many sperm swimmers are trying to get into a single egg. And we could call this blob right here the egg. I've just drawn an outline over the light glare there, kind of as a reminder to me not to put anything there because I can't see that on the whiteboard, but I can see it in the video. But if this is an egg, you have all these sperms trying to get into the egg. And you can think of the woman as an egg in the world, and all the men going after her as sperm, as a metaphor. This is the experience that I've had while dating. I did not know this when I began dating. I went into it completely naive with no understanding. But generally, when an egg gets fertilized by a sperm, the strongest sperm, so we'll draw like an arm with a muscle there. There's my arm with a muscle. Let's say that sperm there is the strongest of the sperm. It's generally the one that gets through to the egg to create life. In my experience in dating and having relationships, this is how it works in today's world, and perhaps it's worked this way all throughout history and humanity, but I only have my own experience to draw upon. And as a man, it's crucial to understand this. It's absolutely crucial to understand this, that any woman you look at, that you desire, that you want to date, is going to have lots of other guys interested in her. It's important to understand this. It's important to understand that she's likely had a lot of attention from men. Now, whether she's acted on that or not is another story, but she likely has a huge sample size and understanding of the types of guys that are interested in her. And you will be compared against those guys. You're going to be compared to those guys. And if you do not measure up to the best sperm that she's encountered in her life, you will not likely have a chance with her. Not unless she's much older and willing to lower her standards. So this is just critically important because if I were a woman in today's world, I don't think I would understand the difficulty that men have in the world trying to date a woman and the insane competition there is to get with a woman. And it helps me understand why guys do some of the things they do, some of the puzzling things that they've done in order to try and attract women, whether it's lying or backbiting or all sorts of things I've seen guys do toward me because I was talking to a woman they liked. I've experienced this. And I don't agree with it, but I understand it because it's major competition. especially the more attractive and younger and cool a woman is. There's lots of criteria that men look for in women, but generally a woman who's cute, fun, feminine, intelligent, kind, she's going to have oodles of guys that are interested in her. It's just the way it is. So this is the basic foundation of understanding of dating and relationships. This video is being done in 2025, but I bet it will be able to be applied in future years as well. So you have this understanding now of it's difficult as a man to attract the woman you want because of so much competition from all these other men, these sperm. So that's one of the challenges, and you just need to be aware of that. You need to be the absolute best that you can be as a man in order to have a chance. You need to be in the best shape you can be. You need to be able to speak clearly and articulately and have charisma, the best that you can be in that. You need to dress in a way that's unique to you, that you are comfortable with. Some would suggest that you always dress nicely and have your own unique style. I don't subscribe to that. I like shorts and tank tops, but I'm in great physical shape, so I can kind of get away with that. You need to have your finances in order, your life in order. Essentially, a woman's looking for a guy, most women are looking for a guy that they can look up to, who's their superhero, who's their Batman. Can I draw a bat symbol? I don't even know if I can. Let's call this there's the bat symbol. It's a terrible drawing because I'm not an artist. Women are looking for their Batman. The superhero, the person that they can call a superhero and look up to. And if she doesn't see you that way, if she actually looks down on you and you look up to her as the superhero, that generally does not work. It's the opposite of the way that things will work with. And it can be frustrating to hear this as a man trying to date and attract someone, because it's a lot of work to become like Batman in real life, to have a good job or career or business, to grow and have a lot of money, to be in great shape, to learn to speak well, to have charisma. These are all things that are just a lot of work. And you might say, what does a woman have to do to attract a man? Not as much, not nearly as much. That's just the reality of the world. It's the truth. A woman simply needs to be beautiful, not even exceptionally beautiful, just kind of cute. Any woman is going to get attention from guys no matter what she looks like or what her characteristics are. But for me, I personally have a lot higher standards than that. I'm looking for someone who's beautiful, kind, fit, feminine, intelligent, loves to laugh, have good conversations, sees me as Batman. That's an absolute must. Because if a woman doesn't see you as Batman or that strongest sperm, it's not going to last. It may have a short lifespan in the beginning. It may seem like it'll last, but it won't if she doesn't see you that way. It won't be harmonious anyways, even if she decides to stick around with you. There'll always be a little bit of tension and disrespect that she'll throw your way because she's not seeing you that way. This has been my experience. I can tell when I'm dating a woman and I'm not Batman to her. And of course, in the first few dates, it's not likely that a woman can make that conclusion. Women need to get to know you. They need to see you in different environments. It takes time for a woman to get to know you. But she will slowly start to put a picture together of who you are, if you even get past the gate of that you could be the strongest and best guy for her. Most of the time you will not be. As a man, you will have a lot of first dates, not nearly as many second dates. It gets less and less for third dates, and to truly attract someone that you see long term. For me, if I look at the few hundred dates I've been on, the number of options that I had genuine interest in that turned into something is less than 1%. I had short-term relationships, medium-term relationships with a little more than 1% of those, but the ones that were just, I was truly, genuinely interested in was less than 1%. It's mind-boggling. So these are difficulties you need to understand as a man in today's world. And accept the truth. Masculine energy to me is accepting the truth. You stand in the truth of, I need to be an exceptional man to attract the woman I want. You must be an exceptional man. And even if you are an exceptional man, it will more often than not be enough. And you have to be okay with that continuous rejection and ghosting and breadcrumbing and all sorts of stuff that you'll get. And I've experienced that over the last decade. I've been ghosted and breadcrumbed. Ghosted means a woman just stops responding to you and doesn't get in touch with you again. But a breadcrumb is a woman kind of slowly eases off in her responses and becomes less and less responsive. She takes more time to respond, that kind of thing. And everything else under the sun for that you can think of. So it's difficult, but this difficulty, it should be something that is a challenge for you as a man to recognize and understand. And if you can harness your masculine side of you, which embraces challenge, then you can become somebody that has a chance. And all I can say is you can become someone that has a chance. It doesn't mean that you're going to actually attract someone that you're genuinely interested in for the long term. I can't guarantee that. I'm on that quest and it's been over a decade and I still haven't done it. So I'm here speaking to you, sharing my experiences, and I know all the knowledge I've gained and all the experiences I've had, I know exactly, I know a good amount of what it takes or what it will take to attract the kind of woman I want. So that's the difficulty for men. You're in stiff competition with all these other sperm. And even if you're exceptional, there's a chance that there's another guy who's more exceptional than you. Or he's a better fit out of the hundreds to thousands or more of guys that are interested in that woman. The odds are you're not going to get chosen. And that can be very discouraging. It can be very frustrating. But regardless of that, it's the truth. So you do the best you can with who you are in your life. You do the best you can to be in great physical shape. You do your best to be in a strong mental state. You do your best to have a strong financial house. You do your best to be a good leader, articulate, good with words, and you know how to plan dates, set days and times, and you do everything that you can as a man to be a well-rounded, exceptional man. You do everything you can. That's today's world for dating, and I can see why many guys check out completely. I don't blame you if you're a man and you've checked out of dating in 2025, because it's exceptionally difficult. It's brutally competitive. I am 47. I'm 6'4". I'm in phenomenal shape. I do yoga, martial arts, weightlifting. I'm a software engineer, nerdy type. I love to have deep conversations. And I feel like I'm in a top 5-ish% of men on the earth. I roughly can see myself in that top 5 to 10% of men. But I know there's athletes, professional athletes, CEOs, entrepreneurs, guys who are more articulate than me, guys who are just more carefree, less in their head. I get it in my head, I overthink a lot. So I'm not perfect. It's not like I've just become this perfect human. I have autoimmune stuff in my body that happens, and so I have my own challenges. But I know roughly I'm in the top 5 to 10% of men when I look at all my characteristics and things I've done in my life. But as a man, you still have to, the human species literally depends on men getting to the egg. That's currently how the human species is going to survive. Birth rates are plummeting. I'm going to write that. Birth rates are plummeting. I think it's 2 births per couple, or I just, on X.com, I follow Elon Musk and his insights into birth rates. And eventually, birth rates will not keep up with repopulating humans, and the population will start to go down. And the human species' chance of survival will go down as the numbers go down. So it's literally imperative for men and women to connect, get together, and have babies for humanity to survive. And hopefully humanity can move more to a model of a marriage or connected relationship instead of the single parenthood that is so prevalent. I'm a single dad. I'm part of that problem, I'll call it. And humanity could really do with more men and women being in solid relationships together. But dating and relationships is not just dating to try to find a woman to get her. Once you're in a relationship with a woman, that's where the real work begins. You can't let yourself fall off the wagon, so to speak. I know that if I find and attract an amazing woman in my life, I can't just relax and say, oh, I found her. Everything's going to be good now. I can just do whatever I want. I don't need to work out anymore. I can just sail free. It's like, no. If I start gaining weight, become lazy, am not continuing to grow and keep the finances under order, most likely, not in all cases, but most likely that woman will lose attraction for me and leave me. And this can happen at any time when you're dating someone as well. From the first text or the first message, which is hard enough to get. If you're doing online dating, it's hard enough just to get a message from a woman. But while you're interacting with her at any time, she can disappear or express that she's no longer interested, or that she's dating someone else, or she doesn't want to date right now, and 101 other things that can happen. The best thing you can do as a man is to accept that when it happens, and do your own retrospective of why you think that might have happened, and what you might have missed that could have prevented you from having to go through that. Always do a retrospective when something doesn't work out with a woman, to see what you can improve on. Generally, when a woman goes ghost on me, it's because there's some other guy that she's tied up with more, or meaning her emotional state and psyche is more invested to him, even if she broke up with him in the past. If that's the case, I can't compete with that until she's unwound herself emotionally and psychically from that guy. And there's been women who disconnected from me because I am not the typical alpha male guy. I am more of a blend of masculine and feminine energies. I believe in having empathy and kindness as a man. I certainly can be strong and powerful as well, but I'm not the typical alpha type that's going to be this dominant force. At least I haven't encountered a woman that's brought that out of me. So I'm sharing this video just as to give clarity to men out there. There's tons of YouTube videos about this kind of thing. You can find them all over the place. These days I'm watching guys who are approaching women in person and filming it. It's something I'm going to do. I'm scared to death to do it, but it's something I'm going to do. And the basics of how to talk to a woman, you can go into YouTube and search Todd Valentine. He's like an architect when it comes to dating women. His stuff is fascinating, but the basics that you want to think about when you're talking to a woman and you're going to approach her in person are very simple. I'm going to write it down. Open sea. This O means open. And like I said, Todd Valentine explains this far more in depth than I'm going to. But open means go up to her and say, hello, how's it going? Or something like that. Get her attention, wave. This is what I do. I'll be about 6 feet away and I'll just go like this. Hey. And the reason I do that is because I'm very friendly. I'm not just going to go up to her aggressively. The 6 feet away wave just kind of gauges her. It's a gauge of her interest in how she reacts to the wave. If she's been eyeing me, like at the gym for instance, she's already been eyeing me and I go like this and kind of get into her view a little bit, she'll immediately snap into conversation with me. And it's a way for me to know, okay, this woman probably wants to talk to me. If she's kind of like, and just kind of is maintaining her walk, then I know she probably doesn't want to talk to me. But open, get her attention, engage in conversation. Mention some things about her outfit, the color, just come up with something about her. Notice something about her or what's going on at the gym. Say something to show that you're calibrated to the environment and what's going on. That's opening. It's a very short part of interaction. The next part, premise. Premise is, why did you go up and talk to her? Are you just a wandering around guy that you just are just randomly talking to people? That's not going to get you very far if you're doing that, although I would probably have fun doing that. I go to Liberty Park here in Utah and I talk to people randomly in my blogs. Premise is saying in some way to the woman, I am talking to you because I'm attracted to you and I want to go on a date with you. Generally, you don't want to just say that, although you can, if your energy is congruent with that statement. I've done that. I did it with a woman at the gym earlier in the week. I just told her she was gorgeous, but I was congruent with it. I was relaxed in my energy, and it worked. So premise is, why am I talking to you? And you can come up with your own unique way to say it that's unique to you. How would you want to tell a woman you're interested in her? You want to say, hey girl, you are fine. If that's congruent with who you are and your personality, great. Or if your personality is more jokester, or say something related to that, like you're too hot for me to pass up, or whatever you want to say. But get to the premise pretty quick after you are in the open and having the initial conversation. And while you're, like I said, it's hard to date as a guy. You have so much to think about. Women are so picky and have so much higher standards. It's like trying to crack a code for guys in a sense. But for premise, I like to just be direct if I like a woman. But it's kind of funny because the more I like a woman, the harder it is to actually verbalize my premise. I've approached women before and they were so attractive to me that I literally was tongue-tied. And I remember one time I said, I'm literally speechless. And that's as far as the interaction went. I've had more fizzled interactions. By fizzled, I mean it ended quickly. There was no more conversation and nothing happened. Then I have had successful interactions with women. But the premise is, I'm talking to you because I'm interested in you. Say that in a way that's unique to you and customized to your personality. The E is evaluate. Move this over here. Evaluate. So while you're talking to her, you want to ask her questions to see if she matches what you're looking for. You want to be the qualifier of the woman, not the other way around. Why do you want to do this? Because it sets you apart from guys who are just throwing themselves at her. The more attractive a woman is, the more she's going to be used to guys just throwing gifts and money at her. I'm guilty of this too in the past. I've thrown gifts and things at women before without them really deserving it. And generally doesn't work very well. If you really are interested in someone, you should genuinely try to get to know them without any gift giving. But evaluate. See if they're a kind, loving, fun person. Make a joke. See if they laugh. Ask them questions. See if they expand and expound on what you're saying. See if you two vibe and have good energy together. You should be evaluating her for all of these things. I've talked to women before that I found very attractive, but there was no energy, good energy or chemistry, or she didn't speak much. And when I tried to engage in conversation, and that's a turn off to me. I want someone who wants to engage with me in conversation and share good energy. So evaluate her for the things you care about, and hopefully you care about some things and you're not just wanting any woman that will give you attention. Like, sit down and think about the things you want. I value good conversation, good energy, fun, friendly, intelligent. Can she deep dive on various subjects? I know what I'm looking for. Next is narrative. Narrative is basically you start to picture what you and this woman could do together, whether it's doing yoga or traveling to a different part of the country or world, or some trouble you could get up to, or a game you could play, or what the future might look like between you. You can start to think in terms of imagery. Women are very imagery, not imagery in the sense of they're like men who are very visual with women, but women like to fantasize about stuff. That's why they read romance novels. They like to fantasize, and so if you can tap into that part of a woman with narratives that include you traveling together, doing something maybe a little dangerous together, or whatever you think would be fun to do with her in the future, you can talk about that and paint a picture of that. And lastly is close. Close says, after you're done talking to her, get her number, her Instagram, get something that you can reach out to her with. If you're online dating, get her number. Generally with online dating, I won't go through this whole process. I'll just have a few short back and forths and then ask for the number. And then I'll go through this process of when I'm talking to her in person or on the phone. So anyways, women don't have to think about this. Women do not have to think about open sea. They just have to be friendly enough around a guy they like. And, you know, as a woman, if you can improve your ability to speak and be fun and playful and really harness your feminine energy and interact in a fun way, I think it will improve your chances, at least with someone like me. I don't like women who are dry and have few words to say. It's hard for me, it's difficult, because I like to engage in lengthy conversations. So let's sum up this video. Women are much more picky than men. Women have 100 times more options than men. If I go online to date, I know that I'm not going to get a match every day. I'm not, even if I have like model photos, I'm not going to get a match every day. That's how it is right now for me. And so you just become the best you can be. Become your own version of a superhero as a man, and learn to be strong and stoic and be able to handle the multitude of rejections you will likely get if you're trying to attract a woman in your life. That's been my experience as I'm trying to attract an amazing woman in my life. I'm standing here and I'm picturing like a woman standing here, and I'm doing a YouTube video with her, and we're sharing our good energy and ability to speak and convey information together. I think that would be really fun to have a woman who wants to share things even while we're out and about. That'd be kind of fun. So I want a woman who's very engaging with me, and she must see me as Batman. There's things a woman will do when she sees you that way. She'll always be very responsive, very quickly responsive. She will not do anything that could be seen as dismissive to you. She'll always be very very communicative, and you can just tell as a man when you're a first choice with a woman or not. If you're not a woman's first choice, you'll get delayed responses, I'm busy, etc. If you've experienced being with a woman where you're her first choice, you can't go back. I can't go back. As I dated Chelsea in the past, it's over 3 years ago now, I was her first choice. She was looking for someone tall, handsome, peaceful, who had done a lot of inner work to be a calm, kind, and peaceful man, amongst many other things that I checked off on her long list of options, a long list of criteria. She had a long list of criteria, and if I didn't check off most of those things on her list, I wouldn't have been able to date Chelsea in the past. That's an example. And so I know this, I understand this as a man in today's world. I understand that my quest to find that one amazing woman is likely a fool's errand. It's not something that will likely happen. But in my heart, I know I have to go for it anyway. And I took a number of months on my own personal time, and now I'm out dating again, so I'm thinking about all this stuff again. And I've gone out on a few dates, and we'll see what happens there with any of them. But hopefully this video is helpful. Kind of a different perspective from me than my typical videos where I'm just sitting in my room and chatting. Love to answer any further questions you might have in the comments about this, but this is my experience now at 47 years of age as a single father. My oldest daughter just graduated high school. I now have one teenage daughter who stays with me half the time. She's 15. And that's where I'm at in life. I'm kind of in the older segment of men out there dating in the world. But love to hear from you if you have any thoughts to share. And namaste. We'll see you in the next video.